Over the last little while, I've been playing a ton of PlayStation VR2 titles. That's right, it's time we jump in.
From the time I was born, through all of my days.
We've been looking forward to doing this for a long time and seeing whether or not PlayStation can step it up when it comes to catching up in the world of VR. We've seen so many iterations with HTC VIVE, the Quest 2, wireless, whole bunch of features. Now we're getting into PlayStation's territory when it comes to VR. And did they do it right? For the most part, yes. A couple little minor setbacks, but maybe that's when we get PSVR 3. But for now, PSVR 2 has me very excited for the future of PlayStation.
No one's home.
We all remember the very first PlayStation VR. This thing was the beginning of it, but only that was just to get started. From there, you needed this cable,
This needs a key.
this thing, this cable, this box. It's exhausting to think the spaghetti that we had at one point. And then if we wanted to use it, we also had the Move controller, which was a recycled piece of hardware from PlayStation. So what's that mean now moving forward? Much better things. Thankfully though, PlayStation was able to iterate on what they've created in the past and make things a whole lot better, stepping out of 1080 and bringing us into 4K in a headset with one cable. That's right, just one cable now connects us and gets us into the world of VR. Yeah, we are connected, and some might be a little nervous for the fact that it's not wireless like the Oculus Quest 2. I'm okay with that. The wire is a little cumbersome, but that's a minor thing because we are able to harness the power of the PS5, and that's why we're still connected. We haven't been able to kind of jump quite yet, because if you go to Oculus Quest 2, the power is there, but it's not nearly as powerful as the PSVR 2. And that's exciting to me because we get into games and experiences like never before. Haptic feedback, rumble is all there in VR, and you haven't experienced this in any other VR system. When we compare last generation to the PSVR 2, there's definitely some significant upgrades, especially when it comes to the resolution panels. We're getting 960 by 1080 in last PlayStation VR versus where we are now with PSVR 2 coming in at 2000 by 2040. It's a huge leap, and it's a lot more crisp, clean, and easier to play. I noticed, especially when it came to motion sickness, I wasn't feeling it as much as I used to in the past, just due to the higher resolution. Made a definite impact. No longer required is the PlayStation camera. Instead, we've been upgraded, thankfully, to 4 cameras that are mounted on the actual unit. Allows for inside-out tracking and for eye tracking, which is incredible. I gotta say, I've used it once already, and I was rather impressed. The headset does come with headphones, quick and easy to snap in place. You can also use your external if you have those. Button on the back with adjustable strap. Super comfortable. Highlight feature for me is a new accordion style that fit your face on the side. This allows for no light bleed to come in. It's completely dark, which is something we kind of missed in the first time. There's also a lot of light bleed that will come in through your nose. Biggest thing for me, when I have it on, after a while, it does kind of sit on the bridge of my nose, even after adjusting and playing with the unit itself. And the flaps tend to tickle my nose. Not much I can do about that.
Protect the realm.
I really did enjoy the lightweight and form factor of the new PSVR 2 unit compared to last generation. I do see myself wearing this a lot longer than I have in the past. Already I'm into almost nearly an hour worth of gaming, whereas something in the past would have me out within easily 20 minutes. This, the weight of it, it's sitting on my nose and it just hurts after a while, and it tends to pull you forward. Here with the newest unit, I don't feel that at all. It does feel lightweight. I did say it does breach on my nose. It kind of sits there and rests on the bridge of my nose for a while. After that, but again, I'm an hour in before I start to really notice it, or something that I was picking up way quicker in the past. Now moving on to the controllers, definitely a highlight to see these controllers, because well, the move wands are no, we don't want those. We just don't. These are much better. They feel what you would expect as a today's standard for VR units. We have several buttons, obviously, that are on here. The biggest noticeable difference, though, is when you compare it to a controller. Because when you take a look at the PSVR Sense controller, the analog stick The button is much smaller than what you can see in the DualSense Edge or your regular standard controller you're just accustomed to. There's a big size difference. So yes, the headset is great. Without a doubt, it is definitely a step in the right direction. We want to see PlayStation move, and the future looks bright, but it also comes down to software. Hardware is there. The improvements upon last generation to where we are now with the headset, the controllers, the iteration of the vibration in the headset. Yes, there's vibration in the headset itself. I'm telling you, it was cool, and I'll tell you about that experience in a minute. It blew my mind, to say the least. So you hear about it and you kind of wonder if it's really going to work, or is it just going to bring on a headache? And I'm telling you, I was just floored. I was floored, to say the least. Iteration of the controllers, definitely all a step in the right direction, but it comes down to software. What games are we playing, and how impactful are those games? And is it worth our while? Again, because this is only one part of it. At the end of the day, this is hardware. Hardware is great, but is it enough if the software is not there? My time with PSVR2 has been a incredible journey. It is a ton of fun. There are so many things to do and play right now. The hardware itself is where it needs to be. It is that step up. It is everything we want it to be. 4K, rumble features, rumbled in the headset, haptic feedback in the triggers. It has all the bells and whistles. Yeah, you might be a little worried about that rumble feature in the headset. I know I was. Are we gonna get a headache? Is this gonna work? Not work? Do we want this? Some people probably will turn it off. For me, it added that extra level of immersion. I was playing Horizon Call of the Mountain, and that's what it really did it. You look up, there's a glint hawk that comes rumbling down. It flies past you, and as it flies past you, there's a gust of wind that blows across the headset, and then it rumbles. And I'm telling you, it sounds silly, but there is nothing like that. I was blown away. And then there's just other things along that go with this. If it's built from the ground up, because what we've seen is a lot of ports come over. Yes, we have seen a lot of ports. Half this library right now has me a little concerned because they are ports. One of my favorite games though, Moss, book 1 and 2 are there. They're well worth your time to play. I do highly recommend them. But when it's built from the ground up like it has been with Horizon Call of the Mountain, that's a game changer. For me, PlayStation VR2 is a standout. Moving forward, I'm definitely excited. I just need to see more of the library. I gotta score this one at a 9. This is a solid transition into PSVR2, and the future looks very bright.
My father ordered me to take Prince Eden, and I thought I was keeping him safe.